This is CEMTV, reliable news and entertainment.
Good afternoon and welcome to Jolly Life here on CEMTV. Ladies and gentlemen, it is another time to be happy, another time to be jolly, and another time to talk gist. Hot gist, because today, as it stands now, a lot is going on. A lot is on ground. Like, we have so many things trending, and because we have so many things trending, I cannot for the life of me do this alone. And of course, I am never going to be alone on Jolly Life.
Never ever. I'm definitely like always here on Jolly Life with Tammy. It's a new day, a new week, and I'm excited to be here. Good afternoon, Tammy.
Good afternoon, V. How are you doing today now? you have to take a deep breath, like how am I actually doing today?
Crazy. You know, one thing that has happened today for me is I was looking for where to eat or looking for food. Normally where I used to get food and all was very hectic for me today, so I had to sort myself out. It was hard, I promise you, but I've eaten now, so I can talk well, and of course we can Jolly Live right here on CEMTV Television. So
why were you for man? You're supposed to be like, Tammy, I wanted to order an intercontinental
it's
cuisine.
actually that no,
but
you're stretching.
The kitchen was stocked. The chef was
if I was trying to order that for this, I would still be having rumpled face right now, because that food is not going to do any justice to me. So I'm glad that I ordered exactly what it is that I love. And the weather has been really cold in Port Harcourt today. So what I ordered is what is lifting my spirit up right now. You should be grateful to that chef for me.
Well, I am grateful to the chef, because of course, if you don't eat right, you won't be in the right mood, and we won't be able to vibe here on Jolly Life. So before I bring you the trends, before I bring you what you are here for, we're going to go on a very short music break, and after that music break, when we come back, we're going to hammer and chisel, and most importantly, we're going to gist. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back.
This is CEMTV, reliable news and entertainment.
Is it time? I can't wait to see it.
Voice of the people, stories that matter.
Oh wow!
Truth in every moment, now and forever. Across every border, across every land, we form, we empower, together we stand.
On some television, as you might already know or might not know, my name is Vera Phillips. So today on Jelly Life, first story I'm bringing to you the story about love. See, when it comes to love, I'm sad because I am an advocate of true love. However, some people can argue that love is mostly not always enough. Others will argue that love is sincerely enough. I think I was listening to Hero Daniels of Reset, and he talked about, he gave us the dissection of how love is actually enough. But a lot of people will argue that. Today we're talking about famous content creators, especially on TikTok, who are currently tying the knot in Edo State. I mean, they got married. Of course, there was a proposal. Then, the traditional marriage has been done. According to them, bride price has been paid in full. And we're talking about that now. That's TikToker Pella and Jarvis. Now, these two are popular on TikTok. Of course, they are content creators. They have their different contents, and they're also streamers as well. I mean, they are taking the streaming industry in Nigeria to a next level. Now, these two traditionally tied the knot of recent, and it has gotten the internet talking. Now, for context, Pella is about 19 years old, and Jarvis is about 24 years old. So there's an age gap between the both of them, and normally this would not be considered an issue if the guy was older. But in this case, Pella is younger than Jarvis, and they have had so many lives, so they've had to explain the reason why they are not married yet. Because Jarvis wants Pella. I mean, according to Jarvis, she did say that she wanted Pella to grow older. She didn't want to take his youth away from him and whatnot and whatnot. And we've also seen their own fair share of issues. I mean, they've literally had their fallout on social media. There was a time where Pella almost bashed himself, or if not, I think he already did bash himself, over Jarvis. We've seen a lot of fallout, or a few fallout between the both of them. But here they are tying the knot. Now, the biggest conversation is it serious? They're all joking, That's one big conversation. The second conversation isn't Pella too young to be getting married? I mean, Pella is about 19. I think he recently turned
I think
20.
Pella is about, I mean, I know that, even to be honest, I thought he was 19, but he is about 21, as of right now. I mean, of course, he looks young and healthy,
Google will not hear the last of this.
So I can understand that confusion. So I will not necessarily say he is too young to get married. Now, and also it depends on the context you're talking about, because if you're coming from a psychological angle, where is he mature enough to get married? That's where I can say, okay, it depends on his personal character trait and what he has shown thus far. Has he shown the ability to take responsibility? Has he shown that he's able to bear responsibility for others? Has he shown himself to be a man of integrity? If he has shown that, then sure, you can't really judge people based on the outside. He's a content creator. If you want to judge a content creator based off of what you see on the outside, you are 100% wrong.
I think with Pella and Jarvis, aside from the fact that they are content creators, they are streamers. We are a part of their life, because their life is
funny enough, I will not funny enough, because that's would I use the word illusion
that we have
of streamers. The most that they can stream in a day is about 5, 6, 7 hours. That's the most, or sometimes if they want to push it to be a marathon, 24 hours. And what is 6 hours in a day? That's nothing. You can come to work at 6 a.m. and Pella will stream from then till about 6 or so, and that's all. You don't know what he's doing throughout the evening. You don't know how he's communicating. Even when he walks out of the set, he may be doing but once he goes, you'll be like, sorry, excuse me, can I get water? You never know, because the persona you're putting out is not necessarily who you are.
Exactly. Seeing the persona that he has put out, do you think that that's a man? I'm sorry, but I'm going to use the word a boy. That is
I'll call him a man. He's 21. He's
a boy that is ready to be married.
For me, he's over the age of consent. He's over 18. Okay. So
do you think that's a male gender that is ready for marriage?
Ready to call this guy a man?
I
by law, he is a man. By law, he's a man. By biology, he's a man. By religion, he's a man. Like, by all ramifications, he has reached the part, because it would excuse a lot of mistakes that he is prone to make, because he's a man. There are certain mistakes as a man that, once you get to that age and that calling of a man, you are expected, to live your life by certain rules, to do some things, to not do some things, to be held accountable for most things. So if a man is then called a boy, if he then acts like a boy, would you blame him? So that's why I'm not really keen on calling him a boy, because he's a man.
Okay.
So he should be held accountable as a man for most things that he'll be done.
There's also
because I was moving to your question.
Go ahead.
Of is he mature enough? Based off of the persona he's putting online. Well, if we're judging strictly based off of that, I will not say he is. Because also keep in mind, like I said earlier, his persona online may not necessarily be his persona in private. So we're not being a judge of character here. We're just making our own decisions based off of what we are seeing, which is why we're saying based off of the persona he's showing online. So based off of that persona, he's portraying himself as a brash person, as someone who consequences can go to hell for all he cares. He says his mind, and he's impulsive based off of that persona, and I don't think those are traits that are fitting for marriage, because if you're impulsive in marriage, you'll be quick to do things or say things that would either hurt your partner or hurt your relationship. Let's say you suspect that your wife is cheating. Let's say she has a streamathon where she's streaming with another very attractive, handsome, young man, and then you're now insecure and you're like, why is she alone in the room with this guy streaming when she has a husband? If you're impulsive, who knows what you will do? You may blow up that stream. You may try to ruin that stream. Meanwhile, it has nothing to do with what you're thinking. So impulsiveness is not something that's fit for marriage. Being brash is not fit for marriage, because your partner can be upset, and they may be wrong, but you have to approach them in a manner that is best for the both of you. Your wife could make food that is extremely salty or too much pepper, and it's not something you like. You will not say, why you go put pepper for this thing like this now? Or why salt go for my soup like this now? You'll be like, babe, it's like Lot's wife came to teach you how to cook. I don't understand what's going on. There's a way you say, she'll be like, no, I must have made a mistake, or it happens. And they'll be like, no, it's still good, it's still good. It's just I noticed that it's a bit different. Someone that is brash, that's just straight to the point, will not know that kind of approach. You may just go straight to the point. This is insulting now. Why is it insulting like this? It may not be your intention to hurt the other person, but you're too brash about it. So that's another trait here shown online that I think is not necessarily fitting, for marriage. For social media, yes, it's good, but for marriage, not so much.
There's also the conversation of the age gap between the both of them, seeing that Jarvis is not just older than him in age, but mature than him, and that's even beyond the age. The possibility of that lasting for a while, seeing how there's a gap in their maturity, and it's, as I said before, it's an okay thing if the guy in question is the mature one, whether in age or in character and persona. But then in this case, it is what we are seeing of the lady Jarvis and him. And it's also different if the people in questions are, I don't want to use mature, since you have already established the fact that 21 is mature. I would like to use older. For example, if let's say he was 30 and Jarvis was 34, these are mature people who have experienced life, seen things, and they are in a place where you can call the both of them mature people. But in the space where they are, they're still making mistakes, they're still learning and all of that. Would you say that it is okay? There is a possibility that can stand the test of time.
Let me start with this, Vera. Age is not a definition of maturity.
That's established.
You can
that's established.
Exactly. So I don't think you can judge how mature someone is based off of how old they are, Maturity comes based off of two things, or at least I believe it comes based off of two things. It comes based off of your experience, and it comes based off of your personality. Because it's from what you experience that you make decisions. You make either mature decisions or you make immature decisions. And it's also based off your personality, because you can have the experience but still choose to make the immature decision, which is why they say there are people that are fools at 40, So that aside, I would say if behind the scenes he is the complete opposite of the character he's putting out there. He is, intuitive. He is not brash. He's patient. He is soft-spoken. He's responsible. He doesn't have a problem, because within, as he has the experience, he is, famous by all standards. He has met with people, he has discussed with people, he has learned from people. So the people he has met, other people, when I was his age, I did not meet those people.
Yeah.
So the things he may have learned from them, they are things that people older than him have not learned. There are things that people older than him don't even know about. So based off of his experience, I would say he has every right to be considered mature. It is now based off of his personality, if he would use that experience, to make mature decisions in his marriage. But if you ask me, I think as he has every reason to be held accountable as a mature adult man.
Yeah, most definitely. I do agree that he's at the age where he can be or should be held accountable for all of his actions. I do have reservations to the possibility of that marriage standing the test of time. Now, this is not even for me trying to discourage both of them from being married. This is me just saying the level of maturity, the level of experience, and the level of responsibilities that they're about to take right now. It is like very how would I put it? It's very, very stressful on them, to see that they're embarking. Of course, I think the other day Yul Edochie had mentioned that he had he got married to May Edochie at the age of 21. So yeah, in those days at 21 they were already done with school. I mean, he said it himself, he was already done with school, he was working at that age. So people grew faster at that time than now. So maturity was not a thing to be contested. It wasn't, you had to get to a certain level, because guess what, their parents even married at a younger age than them. Okay, so that can be understood in that generation, but in this generation where there is a lot of experience to be had, there is a lot of responsibilities to be taken. Like, it is a entire whole process. Even the people who are way mature have engaged in this kind of institution, and I realized that it's actually not for the weak. Talk more of this people. I know that they do love each other, and the question of if love is going to sustain them, be enough for them to stand the test of time, is also something that I am willing to see. However, I'll call for people who are like their parents, their father figure, mother figure. I really hope they do have people like that in their life, especially as they're embarking into marriage, because I understand that their lives is mostly on stream, is on social media, and a lot of people have opinions, and I really do hope that those opinions do not get the best of them. I love to see young people choose themselves, say, okay, you know what, I want to be a partner with you, I want to create greatness with you, I want to do this life with you. However, they need guidance. Young people need guidance from people who have experienced these things, especially in the case of Jarvis and Pella, and I'm just hoping that they get that while they embark on this beautiful journey, both of them. All right, that's that on Jarvis and Pella. I'm excited for them. Congratulations to the couple. They look good together anyways. I mean, the pictures came on screen, they look absolutely fabulous. We're going to go on a short break now, and when we come back from that break, do remember that this is CEMTV Jolly Life, and Tammy and Vera, we are going nowhere until we are done digesting all we came here for. Don't go anywhere.
What's on your mind today? The goal by Victor Osimhen was amazing.
The economy, isn't that what's on everybody's mind?
I would like to see more women in positions of authority. If you heard and saw it from CEMTV, you can take it to the bank. CEMTV, your reliable source of news, information, and entertainment.
The birthing of something new, African, Nigerian. Our vision is to become a leading and trusted television network in Africa and beyond, delivering credible news, inspiring stories, and engaging entertainment that informs, empowers, and connects communities. CEMTV, from Africa to the world.
Baby, I'm gonna party like 99. Cha, look, you need to party like it's 99, because if you don't party now, when are you going to party? I mean, the world is difficult as it is. Nigeria is difficult as it is. You need to find a way to alleviate your stress. You know, don't drink, don't smoke, don't do things that would harm your body or harm those around you. Just go to a party, go to a rave, go to, an event. Dance, eat, make merry, and that's one thing I love about this song 99 by Olamide featuring Sheyi Vibes Asake and Young John, because they will tell you, look, I'm going to party like it's 99, we're going to party like it's 1999,
and if you actually look at it, right, we're like in a serious generation, but then those in the 1999s, like those people they party.
Our fathers and mothers are telling us, don't go to the club, don't go to Nadem party pass.
If you want to know that they really partied, play old jams, those club old jams, you are gonna catch them. You will know that these ones they partied, and then life has gotten so serious now. I know that we still party, but a lot of people, even me, that is talking, sometimes I'm always like, I need to be at work.
When you think of the stress,
it's a lot, but make our time once in a while, and one of the things we like to do on this show is like we relieve you, so if you're relaxing, have fun, enjoy your life. Come on, life is one.
Relax and have fun on Jolly Life. Even if you can't go to the party, join us here. Just Jolly Life on his own is a party. Now, we have another story to address here, and this one is not really a story that brings smiles on my face, but at least it ends with justice being delivered. Now, there's this lady, and on social media, she was caught torturing a young boy, so she was arrested, and a whole lot of individuals were celebrating her arrest. They made videos about it, and one of those videos is exactly what I'm going to play for you right now. You can see that video.
I bet see the woman that did that thing to the hey, too much. Look at her, police have. Look at the woman, the woman that did that thing to the baby. She's going to session now. And the one wants to beat her. She still have
the good book says the heart of man is desperately wicked. Who can tell it? And that is a question that till date it hasn't been answered, because I see no reason as to why a woman with children would decide that her joy, the way she would, her relish would be to torture a young child. And the methods of torture, they were as various as one would say the stars in the sky. They said at some point, she would dip the child's fingers in hot water, and let it peel off. At some point, use heated spoons or plastics, to peel the skin of this young individual. And the question is, why? Because by all logical reasoning, there is no specific reason as to why one would torture a child. What exactly did the child do? How did they offend you? What exactly is your history with that child who weren't? Did the child commit any crime? Well, and even if they committed a crime, I don't think there's anywhere in the Nigerian constitution that allows torture. In fact, if you commit a crime and you're tortured, those in whose custody you were tortured will face the wrath of the law. So why would you want to torture a child? Now, Vera, the question that a lot of people were asking is, how did it come to this point? Why do people entrust their children, to other people, knowing that situations like this are still, happening within the country? Now, because of this event, a whole lot of people have been talking about how they don't trust the nanny system in Nigeria. They don't even trust, their siblings or their loved ones, because all these stories, it's not from strangers. It's not people taking children off the street to torture them. It's people that have relation with the parent of said child or the guardian of said child, with either promises to give the child a better future, better education, and so on and so forth. It could be a relative as well. And they abuse this child as though the child were less than human. It had a lot of people asking the question, do you think Nigerians, should be tested for some sort of mental problem? Because most people would say that maybe this is some mental issue. And with the way this thing happens, to the point that one would, dare I say, it's a common thing. If you hear it, you'll be like, it's not really new. I've heard that happen. I've seen movies about it. In one way or the other, we've heard stories about these incidents happen. Do you think before someone gets custody of a child that isn't theirs, or even before they have a child, they should be tested mentally and psychologically if they're able to deal with the stress that comes with children?
You see, the thing is, sadly, it's more than just that one video. Like, this is a reality that a lot of people are experiencing. There's so many kids out there who are being tortured by people. Even, you can imagine that we even have kids who are being tortured by their parents.
Yeah.
Talk more of the ones who are living with other people that are not their parents. So, and I also don't think it's a Nigerian thing. I think it's a character flaw, wickedness, as a matter of fact, because a lot of people are
the reason I'm asking that particular question is
to inculcate that in Nigeria.
No, because I know it's not a Nigerian thing. It happens all over the world, but in other countries, they have measures in place. They have child protective services that are in place for, even if your neighbor suspects, they don't need to prove, that, you abuse your child, or they need to send proof, or all they need to do is, hello, I think, or I have reasons to believe that my neighbor is maltreating their child. I need you to do a welfare check on them. That is all they need. So I'm not saying it's a Nigerian thing. I'm just saying that other countries realize that this is a problem. So they've put other measures in place. So I'm now asking, even if we cannot put those measures in place, can't we at least test to prevent these measures?
So I know that we do have the measures in place for, child protection. However, unlike other countries, it is not as popular as it should be. It's not as open. And there's FIDA. There's a lot more that, the names are not coming to my head right now, but there is a child protection service that is being rendered here in Nigeria as well. It has not just gotten to the point where it has gotten a lot of visibility, or even the kind of advertisement, if I should say, use those words,
the publicity.
The publicity, thank you, that it really deserves or that it needs. However, we must start from the root cause of the problem, which is,
Okay.
of course, people hating on the child that is not theirs, or sometimes even life frustration, as a matter of fact. And it's the whole thing of parents always leaving their children or taking their children to places. It didn't start today. It's a norm that existed long before now, where parents will, send their child to go and do. I mean, in the Igbo land, it's apprenticeship. You
Yeah.
send it to, another person that you think have established in a particular place, to go and serve and then come back. And those things happen. However, the quality of the person who is being entrusted with a child is also questionable, which I agree that yes, as a system, we should be able to create avenues where people who are taking care of children, whether you're a parent, a new parent, or a guardian, should be tested to see if they are mentally stable. However, I do feel like psychological and mental stability, or the test process, would not still help the situation, because obviously wickedness stems from a lot of things.
Okay.
Right? You might actually be physically or mentally or psychologically okay, but it does not stop you from being a wicked person. It doesn't stop you from aggravating pain, or putting out pain on another person. And so at the end of the day, no matter the kind of check that is being done, I do think that at the end of the day, we need more than that. We need, of course, child protection service to be more pronounced in the country. We need to create awareness for it in such a way that people are aware that, if you see that the child is being treated a certain way in a home, whether that's their biological parent or not, you put a call across and those child protection service will come across. These are institutions that we should put in place, make it pronounced, make it available. And also parents who send their children to other people, other families. I understand, like sometimes we really cannot, how do they say those words, we really cannot mock a pain we've not experienced before. So I cannot judge, or I cannot say, what you're doing is wrong, because I've not experienced that. And I understand that at the end of the day, sometimes you're just looking out for your child, you want the best for your child, but then
sometimes it's just beyond you to take care of that
beyond
child.
you to take care of that child. I do understand, but then we also, as we grow, as life continues, we should we should be very aware of the world that we live in the reality of the world that we live in, the changes that have come in, the experiences that people have shared. And even if it is one cup of garri you and your child can share, until you're very sure that your child is good, also do not allow your child to deal with so much pain that they cannot express to you, their own parent, over if a child is being molested, or a child is being abused in whatever home or whatever apprentice place they are in, they should be able to relate with their parents. They should be able to tell their parents. And parents, you should be able to fight for your children, because instantly the zeal to fight for your children is one thing that will keep them going, one thing that will give them the ability to even be able to speak to you and say, daddy or mommy, this is what I'm going through. Also, whatever it is that even when it's regarding our own children, but let's love our children enough to be able to stand up for them, fight for them, take up the responsibility of making sure that they are safe. There's nothing wrong in you finding a better life for your child. However, if it's going to come at a cost, you bring that child back to wherever it is that you are. And for those that are actually do this sort of wickedness on children, I promise you, I don't think that the law is doing justice to them. Like, they should pay greatly, because children are innocent. I don't know what it is a child would do. I'm not saying that there are not children that have special needs, and by special needs I mean those ones that are extremely stubborn. However, I'm saying that there are ways and measures to deal with these children. If you do not know the ways and measures to take care of the children, return them back to their parents. That is it. Return them back to their parents. Do not go and be killing a child or causing harm on a child who is basically very innocent. So I think that if we begin, most importantly, we should begin to create these child protection services louder in such a way that people are aware of it, and when the need arises, we are not thinking if Nigeria has it, we are aware that Nigeria has it, and we're also making sure people are taking the right steps to make sure they involve the child protection service.
Now, compared to the likes of the United States of America that has the CPS, Child Protective Services, we don't necessarily have a blanket organization that covers all of that. Of course, we have the State's Ministry of Women Affairs or Social Welfare.
Yeah.
We have the Nigerian Police. And of course, we have the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, trafficking in children, labor, exploitation, and so on and so forth. So in a situation like this, of course, we also have the other organizations like FIDA, like you've also mentioned. I think if we have a centralized, network where all of these stratas fall under one organization, just like CPS, they have one general number, and then depending on the case at hand, they can now send either the trafficking arm, or they send the social welfare arm, or they send the police, because of course all of these arms will be accompanied by the police as well. So I think that should be implemented to ensure that children are, kept far away from abuse. And I love the fact that Vera pointed out that there are children with special needs. Nigerians don't believe, or some Nigerians don't believe in special needs. Some children may have ADHD, some children may have OCD, some children may have Down syndrome, some children may have autism. They could be on any part of the spectrum. And most people will not know. You take them to churches, you take them to prayer houses, you take them to all sorts of places, thinking that it's a spiritual matter, not knowing that it's a completely normal biological, matter that can be taken care of. And that child will have a brighter future than taking them to all sorts of prayer houses and praying for them till thine kingdom come. So, besides that, I'm really glad that the woman faced the full wrath of the law. She was arrested. We're awaiting prosecution, and I do hope that the law looks on the condition of that child favorably, and that woman is imprisoned. And I hope she serves decent jail time. Not that they give her, 2 years or 3 years. She needs to serve as much as 10 years in prison.
Terrible jail time.
Exactly, terrible jail time.
Very long jail
what she did to that child is very terrible.
Yeah.
That child